Welcome, dear brothers, to those who follow the work of this team daily, and to those who join now. Today we want to talk about the impressive apparitions that have been happening for 30 years to the Lebanese engineer Raymond, who appears to Jesus Christ and Charbel every time. They leave the mark of a hand with their fingers on his arm, and Saint Charbel gives him a spiritual message. Over the world, the mark on his arm has been the subject of numerous studies in Lebanon and in Great Britain. But it remains a mystery and is a unique case that in each apparition the mark of the hand on Raymond's arm is renewed. Here we will talk about these apparitions of Jesus Christ and Saint Charbel to Raymond Nader of the last 30 years, about the mark they leave him in each apparition, and the messages that Saint Charbel has left him about the situation of the world, the tests that will come, and how Christians should behave in these situations. First of all, we want to remind you to subscribe to this channel by activating the bell and to our newsletter. And on the screen you will see how to collaborate with our mission in Patreon and also on YouTube, so that this Catholic team from the Americas can continue to fund their research that you will not find on any other channel. Now, he is Lebanese who was born in Beirut. He studied electromechanical engineering and specialized in nuclear engineering in the UK. For 10 years, he had developed the habit of visiting almost every day the hermitage of Saint Charbel, located approximately at 1,300 m above sea level, to pray at night. On November 10, 1994, he arrived at the hermitage at around 10 p.m. That night it was very cold, and the darkness was intense. He placed 5 candles in the shape of a cross, lit them, knelt down, and began to read the Gospel. Then he began to feel a kind of warm breeze that gradually became warmer. He looked around and saw how the trees and their leaves began to move violently, agitated by the wind. But the flames of the candles in front of him remained motionless without wavering, and he began to think that perhaps he was hallucinating. But suddenly an indescribable light appeared, enveloped in absolute silence, and he felt transported to another world. Everything around him disappeared. He was immersed in a light brighter than the sun or millions of stars, but it did not burn or dazzle him. And then he felt a strong presence, although he could not see it, and he wondered if he was dreaming. But the presence answered him without words, "His heart is not dreaming." He still continued to think that he must be dreaming, but the presence told him again, "You are completely conscious. You have never been so awake as now." Then Raymond asked him from his heart, "Who are you?" And this presence began to surround him, filling him with happiness, peace, tenderness, and love. And he heard a voice that told him, "It's me." And later he understood that it was Jesus Christ. The happiness was so great that he didn't want that moment to ever end. He told him, "If you go, take me with you." And he answered, "I am present in every place and at all times." Jesus Christ was with him 4 hours until it stopped, and when he gathered his things to leave, he discovered a mark on his arm, a hand with 5 fingers clearly visible. It looked like a burn, and that mark sprouted water soaking his clothes, but he felt no pain. The next day, he contacted several authorities of the Maronite Church to tell them and show them the marks, and the bishop told him, "My son, keep praying. I'm sure the Lord wants to tell you something. I don't know what it is, but he will reveal it to you." And the superior of the convent of Saint Charbel told him, "Saint Charbel can do this. is capable of doing something like that. Now it is up to you to understand what Saint Charbel wants from you, and he was told that he should follow the protocol of the church, undergo a medical examination, a psychiatric evaluation, and an exorcism. Numerous scientific analyses have been performed on the mark on his arm. Biopsies and various medical studies were performed, but to this day the phenomenon remains unexplained. All reports indicated that the cause cannot be established, and that the mark looked like a third-degree burn without pain or inflammation. It was a precisely drawn lesion that healed in 5 days without any treatment. But this supernatural experience was not the only one. A series of apparitions began that have been repeated 2 to 3 times a year for the past 30 years. Each time, everything around him is flooded in that same light, and he experiences the same feeling of happiness, peace, love, and the direct presence of Jesus as the first day. He communicates with him from heart to heart, and from the third appearance onward, has also had the grace of seeing Saint Charbel. Unlike with Jesus, whom he feels without initially seeing, he sees Saint Charbel clearly. The communication with Jesus and Saint Charbel during these experiences is unique. There are no words, no sounds, no use of hearing or voice. It is a dialogue directly to the heart, and the apparitions are completely unpredictable. You never know when they will happen. In each appearance, he feels again the pressure of a hand on his left arm. The mark reappears, and blood and water flow again for 2 to 4 days. Then the phenomenon ceases, the mark heals, and only a slight trace remains, especially from the fingers. He never feels pain. When Saint Charbel appears, he transmits messages to him, as well as to the world. Saint Charbel is considered one of the most miraculous saints and has always been a scientific enigma. His body remained intact for more than 60 years after his death in 1898 until 1965. It exuded blood, water, and sweat in unexplained quantities, a phenomenon that defies the laws of thermodynamics and conservation of matter because the amount of liquids produced exceeds the total weight of the body. Over these 30 years, Saint Charbel has given Raymond a series of spiritual messages about reality. He told him that the road to your Golgotha is long, and the cross of Christ is also your cross. The coming years will be hard as the cross. Violence fills the earth. Everyone will fall under the weight of fear, and sadness will fill their hearts, but you remain in faith. The face of the earth will change, but you keep the face of Christ. Borders and human systems will disappear, and new ones will come, and peoples will fall under their weight. But for you, may your love have no limits, and may your community be the church, and your law be of the gospel. Be you who steer this boat in the midst of the stormy seas. May your hearts be oases of peace for the lost and the abandoned and the homeless. When you pray, ask for mercy and spread love on earth. Pray for the hard hearts and the dark minds. Do not be afraid, because the light of Christ will shine, and the sign of the cross and the church will also shine. Remain in faith in Jesus, and do not be afraid, and trust in the God of the resurrection. This is what we wanted to share about the apparitions that Raymond has had of Jesus and Saint Charbel in the last 30 years. the physical marks they leave on him every time they appear, and the main messages that Saint Charbel left him. If you liked what we shared and analyzed, please like this video and share it with your friends. Leave us your comment on what you think about the subject. We would like to ask you if you have ever felt around you an invisible presence that has filled you with joy and peace.